Okay, guys, I'm sure if you haven't already, you want to see this thing right here. Eldar Wraithknight. He's ridiculously big. First things to note, this is a new style of box they're doing. It's also a new style of packaging I've never seen before. It looks like they're actually spending a little bit less money on the packaging, which honestly I don't care. I'd throw it away anyway, but so yeah, here is the box. I think my favorite part about this box is right here. There we go. Look at that. Spectro Cavalier. What's he do? Yeah, so this is the Wraithknight box. Just some random other pictures on the back. They show you what colors they use, which is kind of cool. I really like that. And they put a lot more of them. Before they used to just say like one color, and obviously they didn't paint it with one color. So let's go ahead and open this up. If you haven't bought a new model from GW lately, it's not like two halves anymore. It's one box, and it's like corrugated cardboard. So instead of being just the plain, like, heavy-duty cardstock kind of a box, it's corrugated cardboard, which I don't really like as much, but like I said, it doesn't really matter, so. Alrighty. So, inside the box, we got some decals. There's a whole bunch of new ones on here. I like that they actually have a bunch of Wraithguard ones now and Wraithlord ones. So there's quite a few on here for pretty much everything. There is a breakdown, I think, in the White Dwarf of which parts of these go for what everything. So 3D rendered instruction book, as always. It's pretty darn big, though. I think this is the biggest instruction book I've had yet. I don't know if there's a number of pages or steps, or here we go, 29 steps. Hoorah. So here's right here is kind of a cool picture. It shows you the 3 different models. I have no idea how posable this is yet, but it looks, from all the pictures I've seen, the legs aren't that posable. But I guess I'll find out, right? So yeah, instruction booklet. Somehow, regular large monstrous creature base, like a Trigon or Riptide. And 3 sprues. So let's go through these sprues here. Okay, as with a lot of their new kits, some of the pieces are identifiable, some of them just plain aren't because they're like 1/4 of a piece. But some of the cool things here, you can see a lot of the arm pieces. Looks like there's quite a few different poses, which is really nice. You're gonna have a lot of extra pieces. This is the one piece on this whole model that I just don't understand. This hand looks absolutely stupid. They put it on a few of the pictures I've seen too. Like the main one that they advertised for the White Dwarf, and then I think uses his hand. I just don't understand that pose. It looks so silly. But the closed fist always looks great. Lots of different arm poses there. There's actually 2 of that hand. Oh my gosh, I hate it so much. Lots of little doodads. A lot of these pieces go on weapons and other stuff like that. This is the main part of the torso right here. Your shield. And the really big thing, though, that's the sword right there, which is kind of ridiculous. I think this sword is about the height of a Wraithlord, maybe a tiny bit taller. So, pretty cool sword. Not much to look at on the back. A lot of these are just, insides of stuff now. The sword is pretty much the same on both sides. So that's sprue number 1. Lots of random stuff like that. Nothing really life-changing aside from that amazing sword. Leg pieces. Guy's ridiculously big. Part of his feet. These cool back spines of Wraithbone here. Lots of leg, shin, shoulder guards and everything. There is most of his head. His head is a little bit undersized, I feel. I really don't like the shape of it that much. It's a little bit too teardrop shaped. But it's not horrible. I guess I'll have to see it once I completely assemble this guy too. more cool spines everywhere, more shield pieces for all over him. This is his chest plate. And as always, on these new sprues, not really much to look at on the back. Everything's kind of a two-part assemble. This is the other part of his head that smaller piece kind of fits on top of, makes it a little bit bigger. So there's sprue number 2. And last sprue here. All the weapons and stuff. And keep in mind, these are like a lot of guns, but most of these pieces are just the barrels, not even the stock of it. The weapons for his shoulder mounts, which you can do up to 2 weapons, like these scythes, or you can give them, shuriken cannons, scatter lasers, all the usual. They have a new system here where they've got like a square peg on it, and those all fit into what looks like, appears to be one set of stocks, so you can magnetize that piece. Or they might even just fit in without magnetizing. I'll have to find out here when I build it. I believe these here are shields for the gun stock. I guess the one thing he's kind of missing is some huge flowy cloth like some of the Wraithlord stuff has. Those are some pretty big guns. Pretty darn big. So yeah, that's the Wraithknight kit. Pretty freaking big. 3 sprues. Do a size comparison here for the sword. So here is a Riptide, and here's the sword. So if you can see, let's see. Got it lined up. The sword is actually taller than a Riptide. It is kind of hilarious. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and build this. I'm not gonna do a building video just because there's like 100 or 200 pieces, and a lot of them are just gluing little things together. Doesn't look that complicated, just looks tedious. So I'm gonna go ahead and build this kit and show you guys the end result. Okay, so here's a Dreadnought. There's a Wraithlord right there. Alright, there's a Wraithlord. Here's a Dreadnought. Pretty big. And right over there, there's the Wraithknight. All of his ridiculousness. So yeah. There's the, let me get these out of the way, the assembled Wraithknight. I have him set up so I can kind of finagle switching out his loadout right now until I do magnetize him. But I'm pretty much going to be running this loadout most of the time, which is the Sun Cannon and the Shield. And I give him typically just one of these here. There's no really no reason to have both. Well, they come off. But yeah, I give him 1 scatter laser so I can twin link the Sun Cannon's 3 strength 6 AP2 blast, which is kind of awesome. So yeah. It's pretty cool. I still think his head's too small. I might end up doing something about that, I'm not sure. Might wait till my next one. But the legs are really the only part I was kind of disappointed about because they really aren't posable at all. I could cut it up a little bit. Like, it's not as hard to make the legs posable as the Dreadnought is. But it would take a little bit of work. So my next one, now that I'm a little more comfortable building them, probably going to have the legs different. So yeah, that is the Wraithknight, and his sword is in fact taller than the Riptide, which I think is hilarious. So yeah, there you go. And just in case you guys are interested, here's some new Wraith Blades built with the axe and shields. They're actually really cool models. They're pretty darn big. They have all of the options with them, which is amazing. So I have all these cool swords left over and stuff. So yeah. I like how all of their axes are slightly different, so you really can... It's going to be a lot of fun to paint. There we go. Wraithblade, bam.